Think about that, brethren. This is not a joke. That is why when we come to the meetings, we should invite our friends, our neighbors, or call everybody to come to the meetings, because Jesus is called. Don't you see what's going on in the world? Ananias and Sapphira relied on deceit. They relied on deceit. They went from the church ground to the burial ground. Think about that. They went from the church ground to the burial ground. Do you rely on deceit or do you rely on God? You have to think about that. And you can find that, you can validate that in Acts chapter 5, verses 5 and 6. That's where you can find that account. The rich man relied on his riches. There were several of them. He lost his life and his riches in the end. Herod relied on his drunken friends. He ordered the execution of his best friend, which is John the Baptist, by decapitating his head, just to appease his conscience. Lord have mercy. His best friend, just to appease his conscience, he did that. Pilate relied on the crowd in order to remain neutral. What he did was but neutral. Pilate's wife even said, have nothing to do with this man. Don't mess with him. Why? Because he's innocent. And Pilate, in the course of the action, went and he washed his hand. He said, see to it yourself. What is the message? When you read the Bible, or rather when you study the Word, you have to look for the message. Here's the message. Here's the message. It says, innocent blood leaves a bad taste in the mouth and blood stains on the hands. That's the message. Innocent blood leaves bad taste in your mouth. Because the wife said, have nothing to do with this man. And he washed his hands. He said, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Leave bad taste in the mouth and blood stains on the hands. You notice that Pilate washed his hands, but who sent the guards to flog Jesus? Read the account. Read the account. Brothers and sisters, I can tell you that my life has been drastically changed in preparation of doing the sermons and during the course of doing the sermons. Because like myself, I thought I knew it all sometimes. In preparing for sermons, sometimes you think you don't need God. You do. You do. It's a very humbling experience. We all need God. And many a times we go about our business and we think, I know it all. No, you don't. You don't. A third of the angels relied on Lucifer. A third of them relied on Lucifer. They were cast out with him. A third of them relied on him. They cast them out. Some of us Christians, we have a problem. And you know what our problem is? We turn a man into a monument and then we make a movement out of it. We have a problem, many of us. I know some folks, I know some Christians. They will follow a pastor anywhere he goes. Why? Because they like hearing him preach. Are you going to hear the pastor preach, or are you going to hear God's words?
God's words.
I have in one of the upcoming sermons, I'll talk more about that. We've got to be careful. It is the same thing that happened with Lucifer. The angels made him into a monument. Brethren, we've got to be careful. The Bible says, looking unto Jesus, who's the author and the finisher of our faith. That's what it says. It didn't say look on the pastor or the elder or the deacon. No. Jesus Christ. We have examples of that though. Christians turning men into a monument or man into a monument. Heaven's Gates. You've heard about it in California. The cults. David Koresh, our own. Jim Jones, back in Guyana. You read about it. Jimmy Swaggart. I remember I was down in St. Martin when that happened. But how could this guy do that? Oh, he's a man. He's a man. He can make mistakes. If you take him and you turn him into a monument, it's a big thing for you. Jesus said, "Is looking unto me. I am the author and the finisher." Not Jimmy Swaggart. The man can make a mistake. That's why we are so, brethren. You know, in my personal Gethsemane, I realize that I am so vulnerable. I just keep, every time before I come here, I say, Lord, let me look at the cross. The cross, because I know I can fall. You can preach a sermon today and fall just as you go out. That's why we have to look at Christ. Christ. And last but not least, you have Jim Baker. Just recently. Or lately, rather. Eve relied on her reasoning. What happened? The plants, the animals, and people are dying as a result of her reasoning. Hitler relied on his military and intellectual pedigree. Hitler. Oh yeah, did you know that all of Hitler generals, they had PhDs? They were very educated men. And yet a man with, I shouldn't say PhD, but a man with a scholarly background no conscience at all, took Jewish babies and threw them into burning infernos. Think about that. Think about that. You see what knowledge without God does? Knowledge without God makes you an intellectual fool. That's what it makes you. That's what it makes you. That's what it makes you. Without God, it's good to have knowledge, brothers and sisters. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have knowledge. But if the G-O-D is not the prefix of that knowledge, you better get it packing. To men. Determination. That's what we need in the church. Determination. Balaam relied on bribery. Listen to what happened to him, brothers and sisters. This one is quite stunning. A donkey had to alert him to his senses. Think about that. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. It's not a joke. Let me tell you why it's not a joke. Because many a times, even at my workplace, folks get so angry with other folks, and they said, "You're foolish like a donkey." Excuse me for the word. They make that derogative statement. "You're foolish like a donkey." Listen to what God says. Watch how He plays it around. God uses that same donkey to speak to a fool that has the ability to reason. Think about that. And you want to link up someone else that they're a fool, using the figuration of a donkey. And a donkey had to alert a man that has all his senses. Brethren, something that I have learned is when I'm studying the Bible, I don't speed read it anymore. I take my time and you watch the language of the Bible. Don't run over take your time. You can spend 2 years on just a single word. Just meditate and let the Holy Spirit just show you. Derogative statements. Derogative statements. Brothers and sisters, this is no joke. Determination. Do you have it? If you don't, you should get it. You should get it, brothers and sisters. Because that is what we will need in the days to come and the hours to come. We're going to need it. When you see your brothers and sisters falling by the wayside, and because of the love of many will wax cold, the Bible said, people will leave the church and say, let me forget about it. Forget about that, man. These people are supposed to be living godly. Look at how they're living. I'm out of here. They will say that. There will come a time. What you going to do? You're going to go outside? Or are you going to stay? Determination. Dissemination. There is an author that says this, quote, there is nothing with the world but run well. There is nothing wrong with the world but run well. Why is violence? Why is incest? Why is murder? Why are all those things happening? Wrong will. Man are doing their will instead of God's will. Wrong will. There's nothing wrong with the world but wrong will. It first started with Adam and Eve. They did their will instead of God's will. So the question this evening, or rather tonight, the question I pose to us is this: how much more lower can mankind sink before he comes to his senses? And here's another question on top of the one that I'm asking. Why are we so proud of our DNA? It's all messed up. The Bible said that you're a sinner. I'm a sinner. Yes, I know that we're a sinner saved by grace, but what is